Safe Space Cafe. News, music, and comedy.
When AWS met with Mindone in May of 2022, what was discussed?
I was not in that meeting, so I can't confirm the detail of what was discussed. So I would need to verify who was in that meeting, but it could.
Could you come back to us with that information?
Sure.
And what the topic was that was discussed. Circling back just briefly, CBSA has been accused, specifically Mindone, of actually deleting emails. So I'm going to go back to you and ask that you provide this committee with as much information as you can about the costing for the cloud to CBSA. Even if you're not unable to provide us with the specific accounts, we'd be interested in knowing the broad amounts and what was charged CBSA for cloud services up until the current date, because frankly we can't trust what CBSA has because of the deletion of documents. Would you be able to provide us with that?
Maybe I will clarify with you what would be useful, but I'm happy to sort of try to be helpful to the committee and their work.
We will circle back through the chair for that information through our analysts. Mr. Abbott, can you confirm that prior to beginning your work with BDO, you spent some time with Deloitte? Is that correct? About 25 years?
That's correct.
While at Deloitte, were you involved at all or aware of a project called CARM, the CBSA Assessment and Revenue Management Digital Initiative?
Yes.
Do you consider in your work on that or your awareness of that, were there ever any concerns expressed by CBSA about Deloitte's work on the CARM initiative?
I'm not sure. I will for the purpose of ArriveCAN. Just put it. I'd say that's some of those questions will be best directed towards Deloitte because I'm representing BDO. But I'll answer from a perspective. There was certainly, like other large projects, points of contention and things that worked well and things that didn't work well. I would not have described it as, points of contention, but certainly things that, where things weren't working. There was meetings of the minds, if you will, and to try to clear that up and move it forward.
So you would say that there were challenges or concerns expressed by CBSA about the CARM initiative?
I would say similar to any other project where it's large scale in nature, that not everything goes exactly from the day one plan, and I would characterize it that way as opposed to saying that there was concerns. I can speak it to it from that perspective.
So CARM will be launching on May 13th. Are you confident that it'll launch successfully?
I haven't been part of that project for 3 years, so I really wouldn't have a perspective to answer on that.
That would issue that task authorization.
All sizes that do produce work that may be a customer of ours, that may be one person.
So you do no reviews of customers?
Of customers.
Well, in this case, you're calling Dalian a customer. So I'm trying to understand your relationship with Dalian.
No, we do
You're
not.
saying,
we do not do due diligence on all of our customers.
And so you did not. What did you know of Dalian then, when you accepted that work? That they worked for the government? Was that it?
We understood that they had they needed work from us. They contracted us to do work for the benefit of CBSA, and we performed that work.
But as like a public service, that would be strange, don't you know? Especially as a former person working in this place.
It's not strange. It's actually extremely normal in the course of our business that a number of companies.
And this is exactly why we have this problem. Is because of the way that your company is operating and how it's taking advantage of general contractors in this case, and they're taking advantage of us.
Thank you, Mr. Desjardins. That is the time. You'll have another opportunity. Turning now to Mr. Barrett. You have the floor for 5 minutes, please.
I want to follow up on my colleague's question about Mindone, who was the Chief Information Officer, who's been accused of destroying documents and records related to Justin Trudeau's $60 million Arrive scam. And this is something that the Access to Information Commissioner is investigating. Is there any reasons that come to mind that emails and documents from Amazon would be in the destroyed documents?
I don't have any knowledge of what documents were or weren't destroyed.
Can you tell us what the total amount in contracts that Amazon has had with the Canada Border Service Agency since 2015?
I don't know about the value of the contracts, but in the last year, we did approximately $20 million of work for CBSA. We would expect that number may fluctuate based on usage of cloud computing.
How many active contracts do you currently have with CBSA?
I believe that all of the work is within one contract or the cloud framework agreement.
Will you undertake to provide the total amount in contracts that Amazon has had with CBSA since 2015? Could you provide that to the committee?
I believe we could provide that.
Thank you very much. How many meetings did the Liberal government have with Amazon on ArriveCAN?
None.
No phone calls?
So by Liberal government, you mean the political level of government? Is that what you're referring to?
Let's parse it out. Who had phone calls, meetings, Zoom?
So there were nobody on my team, which is the public policy team, had any meetings with any government officials at any level on ArriveCAN.
So no government officials. So no one who worked for the Government of Canada.
Nobody who worked for the Government of Canada at the political level or the bureaucratic level.
Okay. So there was no connection between Amazon and the Government of Canada, any of its departments, agencies, and Amazon or any of its subsidiaries. There was no conversations.
Well, obviously there was client engagement conversations that took place. So there was direct work that was contracted, and so there was absolutely interactions at a working level on this work, but there was no lobbying activity on this work.
So there was no lobbying activity as it dealt with ArriveCAN?
No.
So that were there any gifts or hospitality by Amazon to government officials?
I understand the committee has become aware of a backpack that was gifted to both staff and officials that had worked on the project. And that is all that I know of in terms of gifts. It was a small token of recognition at the end of a large project.
So we became aware of it, but even just in your answer before, there's no lobbying activity. So
No.
Gifts to government officials that are branded with your logo, you don't consider that to be lobbying activity?
No.
No, so you haven't had any other hospitality that's been given. So just free bags, but no drinks, dinners, coffees, anything
No,
of that nature.
I think in the normal course of business, there would be minimal hospitality that would have taken place.
Okay, is that something that you've tracked?
We do have a corporate policy that outlines what the guidelines are for that activity and training for employees around that activity. And yes, we do have a reporting system.
Okay, so it's part of your business model that there's some gifts, that there's some hospitality with government officials and with the private sector. Yes? Okay,
Yes.
and are you able to enumerate the occasions on which it occurred with government officials, who the government officials were, and what the gifts were that were given?
So our system is designed to identify who the officials were and what the gift was.
Okay, can you furnish that information to the committee, please?
I can follow up with that information.
Thank you very much. And just to be clear with precision, were there any government officials and Amazon employees who met outside of government offices? And if yes, can that be those details be included in your return to the committee?
So in the normal course of business, meetings may take place outside of government offices. They may take place in our corporate offices. They may take place.
I understand the concept. I'm asking if you'll provide the details of those meetings in the return that you committed to with respect to your previous answer.
I would have to verify, but I do not believe we track that information in terms of the location of where meetings take place.
But if it exists, you will provide it?
We don't have a regular system to track that, I don't think, but if we do have it, I would be happy to provide it.
Thank you very much. Up next, suivant, c'est Ms. Bradford.
Thank you,
You
Mr.
have
Chair.
the floor for 5 minutes, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you so much to the witnesses.